Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or the Try-F podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up. Today we're talking about Kash Patel. It seems like his lies have really denigrated his appearance, so we're going to look into that a little bit. Boys, how are you?
I'm good.
Gary's good. Only the father's good.
I'm surviving.
Only the Father is good, and we are created by the Father, and He called us good, so that makes us good.
Yeah, but that's not what Jesus said.
Let's talk about Kash Patel. We can discuss this concept of who's actually good. I am a believer in human depravity, but anyway. Okay.
As someone who's never heard of this guy, who the heck is he?
I was the biggest fan of him. And then it was like, what happened, dude? I saw this scene. I'm reacting emotionally because I saw his Senate congressional hearing.
Okay, but who is he?
Okay, well, let me rewind. I guess I should explain why I was a fan of him. No, you're good. Okay, so Kash Patel wrote this charming little book called Government Gangsters. And basically, he was a member of the FBI because during the Russiagate scandal, when Hillary Clinton was saying Trump enjoyed being peed on by Russian hookers and all this. That was the Clinton campaign. Yeah. He is the guy, him and another guy, I cannot remember his name, so I'm not going to try to remember his name. But Kash Patel was part of the team that exposed that the whole thing was made up. The Russiagate thing was made up. I mean, if you had a modicum of common sense, you could have put that together. But apparently everybody wanted to believe that Trump was going to Russia to be peed on or something. So anyway, and apparently that encouraged Russia to influence the election. That was the whole thing. Like, Trump didn't really win. The Russians helped him because he liked Russian hookers or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the story was. And so in the end, they found out Russia bought 12 Facebook ads or something stupid, because that really turned the tide. But it is a good example of projection because it looks like the Democrats are going to steal the next election altogether. But anyway, regardless, Kash Patel uncovered all that, and he wrote a book called Government Gangsters. And before he was the DOJ, the FBI. Leader of the FBI, not the DOJ. He was talking about declassifying everything. He wanted to get in there, release the Epstein list, release all of it. And he was adamant that was what he was going to do. But ever since they tried to get the Epstein files out, nothing's happened. And Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have been very cagey. So let's start with some contrast here. Let me begin with actually his interview with, is this the right one? Yeah. Yeah. Let me begin with his interview with Kash Patel. And
Glenn Beck?
Yeah, this was before he became the head of the FBI. So This was the original Kash Patel. And here we go.
That's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic schools. Yeah. We still haven't seen that, right?
Please ignore Glenn Beck's attempt at humor.
Ding dong.
Oh, yeah.
PD saying we don't want this out.
Pizza
the FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a black book.
But the black book, it's not just sitting. I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the black book.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
The black book is another term for the Epstein list, in case we're not following.
Please, I can't take any more.
On day one, roll out all of the text message communications we were told were deleted.
Oh, yeah.
On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber.
Oh, yes.
One of the reforms I talk about in Government Gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassified.
Who's talking?
This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as the former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh no, you can't see
You
that.
can't follow
Nothing to
this.
see
Is
here.
Glenn Beck reacting to his own interview with this guy?
That is correct.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not going to fault him because we're reacting to Glenn Beck reacting to his own thing. So
We're reacting to Glenn Beck, reacting to Glenn Beck, reacting to Aziz Ansari's cousin.
racist.
It wasn't racist.
I don't know. Anyway, I wish the music would stop though, because I'm trying to hear what Kash Patel is saying. Beck.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Tell Chat GPT to put it up on screen for us.
put what up on screen?
With captions.
Oh, well, I can just do that here. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Caption master.
Master at it, of doing it. And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote.
Oh yeah, I
Still
think
under
Robbie.
lock and key.
I just,
On
I might.
how
No Russiagate. Well, wait. Did we get the Russiagate? I shouldn't say that. We might have got the Russiagate one. Anyway, moving on.
ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusions. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it. And the government gangsters came in and buried it.
Wow. Let me tell you this.
Gangster, read all about it.
All right. Is he going to just talk? Yeah. So, bottom line, this isn't the best clip. I don't know where the actual clip is, but it doesn't matter. Point is, he's talking about releasing the Epstein files, and you can see his energy here. He's very adamant about getting these things out, and I think at this point in time, he's sincere. So remember the mannerisms, remember the way he's talking, remember how he's gesturing, and look at his posture, you know, because maybe I read too much into body language and stuff, but I think this is a different Kash Patel than the Kash Patel we're about to see. So with that said, let's go to the Senate congressional hearing. Here we go.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
In the near
Like
future.
before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects
Us.
victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
I have a question.
CSAM is a child you know what, by the way.
Yeah. Why is it whenever these senators ask these people a clear yes or no question, why do they never clearly answer?
Because
yes
he's lying.
or no?
Look at his
The
body
short answer
language.
is
He's,
because they're lying.
yeah, he's
They're
lying.
lying
Look at
straight
him.
up.
Look at him. Okay, let me go back. See how he's like relaxed, confident. His eyes are somewhat closed. He's up like this. This is a guy who's adamant and opinionated. Now look at this. Look at him here.
He's terrified.
He's down. His posture's down. He's kind of hunched. You know, he's like I know he's leaning forward because of the mic, but he's got these uhs. His energy is way down. He's mumbling. Like, this is not a guy telling the truth. Like, clearly something's going on they don't want people to know about. And
Well,
I have my opinion as to what that is.
Obviously, bull. I mean, they've been saying they were going to release the Epstein files for
20,000 years.
Yeah. Here's what I
the
think
whole
happened.
time.
Here's what I think happened. I think, let me actually go to what Pam Bondi just said a little bit ago and see if I can't get that figured out really quick. So give me a minute. You guys talk about amongst yourselves.
Cody, do you know who Pam Bondi is?
Bondi
Oh.
statement
Nope.
about
Let me-
Is it Aziz Ansari's other cousin?
No, she's blonde. Racist.
She's a half cousin.
Half cousin.
Was it Pam what? Bondi.
Pam Bondi.
American politician.
Are they not going to show it? Okay. Actually, this is better. Let's do O'Keefe Media Groups because James
Pamela
O'Keefe.
Jo Bondi is an American attorney, lobbyist, and politician who has served as 87th United States Attorney General since 2025.
Do you guys not remember who she is? Like, this is the girl that was doing promises made, promises kept, and had the stupid Epstein Files release thing. We did a whole episode on it. Like, the Epstein Files Phase 1.
Yeah.
That weird crap where it was like the exact same stuff that had been released already and she didn't even know it.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
her. No, that's all right.
I've slept since then.
That's okay. Anyway. Here's the video that James O'Keefe's video has.
I'm Jordan Peterson. I haven't slept in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I was on the methylene blue. Anyway.
Methylated blue.
Sorry. It's a
I'll
joke.
tell you what it's like. It's approximating something laying down in your bed and staring at the ceiling for 8 hours, and then you get up.
You're getting better at that.
Thanks.
All right.
Looks like you've been practicing.
Okay,
in the mirror.
here's James O'Keefe's video.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, the existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So...
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids, so they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
Okay.
Amen.
So basically what happened is O'Keefe got her at a meeting, one of their agents, I guess, if you want to call them that, got her quoted as actually admitting that there's child you-know-what there. They told their press conference about it, so she runs out to the media and says it before O'Keefe can say it because she knows that O'Keefe's went dark at this time and was about to release information regarding this topic. So she actually announced the you-know-what as a way to get ahead of O'Keefe. That's my opinion. That's what I think he's implying.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Now, here's what I think is happening. Here's what I think is going on with Kash Potel and Bondi and yeah, basically what I think is going on. And again, this is just my opinion, and I have no credibility, so I can speculate. So, so what I think's going on is I don't think they actually thought there was still an Epstein list. I think that they probably figured if anybody had it, it was probably destroyed years ago. And, you know, they were basically going to release whatever there was, kind of as a, you know, olive branch to MAGA. But then it turned out there actually was stuff. And now they're going, oh, crap. Because what O'Keefe was about to out was something that hadn't been said before. That, because we knew that they were doing the underage girl thing, but what was unclear was whether this was like teenagers, like if this was kind of a, you thought she was 18, but she's actually 17, haha, we got you. If it was that kind of thing, or if it's actually kids. This confirms that it was kids as well, which means you've got powerful people into full-blown PDF file stuff. And so here's the crux of it. Our government funded this operation, in my opinion. Our government funded this. Other intelligence agencies funded this. Our taxpayer dollars paid for this. We, the American citizens, have been paying for child trafficking by the federal government.
Yeah.
And they might be protecting the identities of the victims. That might be something they're legitimately doing. But they're also protecting the clowns that set this crap up. Because this makes the FBI and the NSA and CIA and all those intelligence branches from whatever countries were and weren't involved look really bad. And it raises the obvious question that maybe this entire intelligence apparatus should be shut down.
Yeah.
And I think that they're panicking because they have no idea how to actually release this stuff. Because we don't need to see the videos, and we don't need to know anything about the victims. What we want is a list of the people that were involved in this crap. And we want people to go to jail. We don't need to see like the details. We just need to know who was involved. And they're not even releasing the Johns. So that means they're protecting the Johns more than protecting the victims. Because there's no reason, like you don't have to blur out the kids' faces and protect the identities and release all this stuff out at once. Just give us the names of the people that were involved in this. Hence the Epstein list. Mm-hmm. So why aren't they doing that? Because it's very powerful people, and our government built this entire system. It's a blackmail racket. Or, even worse, an initiation ritual like the Crips would have for some new gang member.
Yeah.
So, they're protecting their own.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Epstein's whole goal with that whole island thing, I think he was trying, like what Genghis Khan did? Like he tried to breed every woman and like make a race of his seed.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So I think Epstein was doing something similar, and he was able to use those same participants as you know.
There was another billionaire who was doing something similar to that. I don't remember his name. Alex Jones talked about him, but I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. But he was paying people for gross stuff like fluids or whatever, trying to like fetal tissue. Just trying to stay young and all that. But regardless of what Epstein's motives were, the government has been paying for it. And these people are probably still in power.
Yeah.
And so I hope I'm wrong. I hope that it is just an abundance of caution for the victims. At this point, I'm a little too cynical to think I am. But they could have announced that it was actual child you-know-what years ago. They could have announced it the second they got the stuff. But it's clear, in my opinion, that she announced it only as a reaction to O'Keefe. And so...
it's like the same wording, too. I mean, it's typical reporter crap.
Yeah.
They're not original at all, which means it's a lie.
I don't know if the child you-know-what is a lie, but I think she went out there and said it word for word as like a way to get her to undermine his reporting.
Right.
To make it seem like it's not new. Because I think what happened is she let it slip with that reporter, and then O'Keefe said, "We got you," and then she ran out and got ahead of him.
Yep.
That's what I think happened. I mean, it's just sick. I don't know. I mean, it's just disgusting. And again, I've kind of gotten a bee in my bonnet ever since the Virginia Roberts thing, like what we talked about a couple weeks ago. Like, she died, and this stuff was supposed to already be out, and these people were supposed to already start going to jail. And now the primary witness to all this stuff is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumors, I think, circulating about more of these victims dying. Like, they are trying to cover their butts. Yeah, they are trying desperately to cover their butts. And honestly, like, the reason that this stuff still exists, and this is the part that I don't think anybody wants to really talk about, is it exists because the whole point was the blackmail. They didn't need a list, but they needed the tapes to show to whoever if they wanted a bill passed or they wanted funding for this or that. They're like, we got this tape of you doing this thing, and you better. So you hold on to all that.
Because they need it, yeah.
Yeah, they released it as, whenever they needed it, exactly. So, yeah, it's a blackmail racket. And so you keep that, and I don't think they started destroying anything until, Trump won. And then after Trump won, they probably started destroying stuff, but Trump acted faster than they anticipated. And look, people said that the stuff was in that Southern District of New York's office. And I think they went out there to just see what was left, and they got a whole truckload of stuff, and now they're going, oh, crap. I think they're on the back foot because this is beyond anything that they thought. And I think this is part of that generation. I think it's a generation thing, too. It's like there's this weird obsession with protecting the sanctity of the institution. Like, these people seem to almost think like the Department of Justice is sacred. Like the FBI is sacred. Like, we need to protect the reputations of these people. No, we don't.
No.
Why? And I think, frankly, and this is just my little stupid, humble opinion, but I think regardless of what happens, sooner or later, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, they're all going to have to get shut down. Because I'll use a farming analogy. It's like a bull tasting blood. I think whenever Waco happened, the government figured out that provided they had enough resources and had the ability to establish a narrative, they figured out that if they had the ability to establish a narrative, they could literally set women and children on fire and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And once a government figures out it can do that, it's like a bull realizing they can kill a farmer without consequences. On the farm, the second the bull kills somebody, regardless of the circumstances, you kill it because now the bull knows that it can. And as long as it knows that it can, it eventually will again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so it's useless. And so it's the same thing with these guys. Once they figured out that they could get away with stuff, provided they had the media, they became useless. I mean, they've done shady cloak and dagger stuff before, but to be able to spin a yarn and kill that many people in that public of a way, I think that was a Rubicon. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think no matter what happens, you're going to have to shut it down. I don't think there is any saving it. To sit there and try to cut out the corruption, it's like trying to dissect an elephant with a scalpel. Like, there's no way. So...
Or cut the mold off the cheese.
Or cut the mold off the cheese, yeah. So... I mean, I just think that they're panicking, and they're doing a lot of stupid things because they're panicking. And why in the world would he even pretend? Like, that's the thing with Kash Patel. Why would he even pretend that Epstein killed himself? Those sheets were made of paper. There's no way that guy hung himself. It's just nonsense. Why would you even say that?
Because he has to. That's the narrative.
Yeah,
if you say anything diverging from the narrative, it falls apart.
Yeah, they must have pictures of him or something. I don't know. But I think they've got pictures of everybody. And the tech is so good now that if they don't have pictures of you, they can make pictures
just
of you.
AI a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's going to say what? If you say, oh, it's AI, then you sound like a doofus. Like there's no winning. So,
it's AI.
It's AI. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
It's
going to be hard to prove anything beyond a reasonable doubt in the upcoming years. So you're making go, it was AI. That know me.
My 8-year-old got on a kick. It was probably my fault, but he got on a kick one time about every movie he saw. He'd be like, "Oh, that's CGI." It's like every single movie. Yeah. It's like, yep.
Pretty much.
Every movie is fake now.
All right.
Have you guys seen The Sound of Freedom?
Yes, I have. It's a very good movie.
It's kind of like pointing. in the direction that we need to go.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that the left hated that movie so much, because it gives you a glimpse into what's going on. The missing piece is our government is funding a lot of that. So.
Yeah, if you pay attention, when he started getting close, they pulled his funding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that pretty well covers that subject. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to close out part 2. We're moving on to part 3. So if you're on the live stream, stay tuned. We'll get to part 3 here in a minute. And if you are watching this after the fact, guys, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.